Hey everyone, it's Tori, and I'm gonna give y'all my phonics lesson plan. My objective is the teacher will read words with inflectional endings, and this is for a first grade classroom. For the review, we're gonna review the definition of inflectional endings that we went over yesterday, and we're gonna go over some of the words with inflectional endings that we viewed yesterday also. I'm going to have large flashcards to hold up for the students to show them those words. I'm going to ask them questions like, when you add ed to the end of a word, does it mean it already happened, it is happening, or it will happen later? And hopefully they'll say for ed, it already happened. I'm going to ask, when you add s or es to the end of a word, does it mean it already happened, it is happening, or it's going to happen later? Hopefully they'll say S and ES is currently happening. I'll ask, when you add ing to the end of the word, does it mean it already happened, it is happening, or it's going to happen later? And hopefully they'll say it is happening as well. So the purpose of this lesson is intended to get the students ready to create sentences using words correctly with the correct quantity or tense, and to correctly create bigger sentences in the future. Yesterday we viewed many words that have inflectional endings and their base words. Today we are going to view more words with and without inflectional endings and understand what the difference is between when words have inflectional endings and when they don't. And we're going to review the inflectional endings ed, s, es, and ing. Tomorrow we will review the inflectional endings er and est, and we're going to use words with inflectional endings in sentences, small sentences. The objective is that the learner will understand what inflectional endings are and why they are used, and the learner will know which inflectional endings to use for past and present tense. The motivation for this, I have two videos to show. The first one not only gives examples of ed to the end of words, but it also gives the reason for using it. And I'll show y'all that on my phone.
They say after seeing a magician make his assistant disappear, Mr. Clean came up with a product that makes dirt virtually disappear. He called it the Magic Eraser. It cleans like magic. Even baked on dirt disappears right before your eyes. Mr. Clean's Magic Eraser.
Okay, BB, the king of beasts, it's over now. Take, 41. Here's a little story. Listen up. Woke up this morning, and I rushed downstairs real fast. Yeah, I woke up this morning, and I rushed downstairs real fast. And the ED in rush means my rushing happened in the past. Then I went to the kitchen, and I gobbled down my cow. Yummy.
And the second video I'm going to show them is on the ending ing and when you have to drop the en at ing.
With some action words like park, walk, and talk, we add ing to the end of the words to get parking, walking, and talking. If the action word ends in e, something different happens. When you add ing to a word like have, the e disappears, and you get having. Add ing to make, and you get making.
Okay, and that's just parts of the short videos. I'll show them. So for the activities we're going to do, the first one is a worksheet called What's the Correct Word? And for this one, the students have to write the correct ending form of the root word that's written. So I'll go over the first one with them. Play. Past tense would be played, you'd add ed. And present tense would be plays, you'd add an s. And then I'll let the students work on this in groups of about 3 or 4 students. And I'll walk around the class and observe, see how they're doing, and if they need any help with that, and then we'll go over it together as a class. And that's going to be an oral observation, and that's the whole class and individual students as I'm walking around. The next activity is this inflections worksheet. The students are going to cut these out, which are going to be at the bottom of the worksheet. And this is going to be an individual assignment. They're going to do this each on their own, and I'll go over the first one with them too, and walk around also and help them as they're doing it. They'll glue the words with ing on this column and the words with ed on this one. And then they'll review that as a class also whenever everyone's pretty much done. So that's the 2 activities, and that's also an observation, just walking around the class of individual students. We're going to need the worksheets, glue, and scissors for that one. So for the closure, I'm going to do a thumbs up, thumbs down activity that I saw someone did last week, and I really like that. This is where I ask a few questions, or I'm going to actually read a few sentences to the students, and if the sentences are correct, if I'm using the right inflectional endings for the verbs, they're going to give a thumbs up, and if they think it's wrong, they'll give thumbs down. And this way you can see which kids understand and which kids don't quite understand. For the homework, the students will have an inflectional ending worksheet as well, very similar to the first worksheet we did as a group. They're going to just have the base words, they're going to add ing, and then they're going to add ed to them. And it tells them up here that ing is happening now and ed happened in the past. So we'll go over this the next day to make sure they all understood and got it as well. Anybody who finishes early in the class will have an extra worksheet to complete. It's going to be a little more difficult because if they finished early, they probably know the information well. It's ready, set, grow. And this one's a little bit more hard. They have to fill in the word that should be used. The first one is farmer bug is work hard. So they'd put farmer bug is working hard. So that's just for the ones who finished early. Students with special needs or English language learners hopefully will be able to work with a paraprofessional. If not, I'll work with them later in the day whenever the other students have free time and give them some one-on-one time and see if they have everything. And students who need remediation, I'll also work on them in a small group and go over everything we just did at a slower pace and make sure they understand it well before we send them home with the homework. For the enrichment students, they'll get this worksheet, which is a lot harder than the other. They have the words to choose from at the bottom, and they'll fill in the sentence with the word that goes, and they have to add the ending to it. So they have to figure out which word goes where and what ending goes to it. So that is my phonics lesson plan for my first grade classroom, with the objective being reading words with inflectional endings. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see everyone else's.